Today on the 12th of August, we find ourselves looking at three teams heading in the positive direction, three teams that are not, and a team to be on the lookout for. This is 3 Up, 3 Down. Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And as I said in the open, we're looking at three teams that are heading north, three teams that are looking south, and one that we have to pay attention to. So we begin with the first up. Now, the hottest team in baseball right now is that of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Over their last 10 games, they are 10-0. This is a team that is absolutely firing on all cylinders and now has the best record in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers are a powerhouse team, and while they didn't do enough, in my opinion, at the deadline to improve their chances were already pretty significantly high. So when you look at what the Dodgers did in building this team throughout the course of the last several years, this is a juggernaut of a team. And that is evident by the fact that they are 10-0 over their last 10 games. Heading into the postseason, the Dodgers have a stronghold on that National League West division and will likely find themselves with the top spot in all of Major League Baseball in terms of record. I think when you look at what the Dodgers have in their ranks, there is a powerhouse team with all kinds of depth in their organization. Heading into the postseason with the Dodgers as the favorite is a very good bet as a winner. Now, to counter that, the first down and the team that is struggling the most over the last 10 games is that of the New York Yankees. When you look at the Yankees over the last 10, they are 2-8 over that stretch and have not been playing the best brand of baseball. They've dropped the last couple of series in a row, including being swept by the Cardinals and dropping 2 out of 3 to the Mariners in their most recent set. As they go into a series with the Boston Red Sox tonight, who are also scuffling, this is a team that has a lot of expectations and a lot of pressure, something that we just covered yesterday here on the channel. So I will leave links to that video down in the show notes below. When you look at the New York Yankees in 2022, they got off to such an incredible start that World Series or bust was the thought process behind this team. However, over the last 6 weeks or so, the Yankees have not been playing the same brand of baseball that they once were. Close games are no longer going their way, and they now find themselves struggling. 2-8 over their last 10 games is the Yankees' misfortune at present moment, but there's always a possibility for this team to turn it around once they get a player like Giancarlo Stanton, who's been missing from the lineup, back in the ranks. I think adding Giancarlo back to the lineup really lengthens it and allows the Yankees to kind of relax and go about their business as they were in the first half of the season. Now, as we look at the second up, their crosstown rivals, the New York Mets are absolutely blistering the baseball. 8-2 over their last 10 games, while also riding a 6-game win streak. The New York Mets are finding themselves chasing the Dodgers, but they are so far ahead of the National League East right now that really isn't a huge battle for them. I think that they are having some teams that are behind them competing, trying to chase them down, but I think that the lead that they have is going to be pretty safe outside of a late season collapse like we would see from them back in 2007. But when you look at what this Mets team is, they're a different feel and a different clubhouse. Buck Showalter, to me, has always been such a huge key piece and addition to this team. Having a manager like Buck Showalter allows this team to really find itself flowing in the right direction. I think that Buck has the biggest X factor for this team, and that's something that we covered in the offseason. But when you look at the way that the Mets are playing baseball right now, this is absolutely a powerhouse of a lineup. As I said, 8-2 over their last 10 games with a 6-game winning streak is just the tip of the iceberg for how good this team is. Now getting Jacob deGrom back into that rotation to go along with Max Scherzer, Chris Bassett, Cookie Carrasco, there's a lot to like about this team, not to mention all the power that they have offensively. This is going to be a very difficult division to win for teams like the Braves and the Phillies, who are chasing the Mets. But when it comes to the postseason, anything can happen. As we look at the second down, it is that of the Atlanta Braves. Over their last 10 games, they are 5-5. And while it may not seem as significant as some of the other teams that are struggling, being that you are the defending world champions in the Atlanta Braves, you're chasing a team in your division in the New York Mets for the top spot. You also have a team in Philadelphia that is hot on your tail, chasing you for the top wild card spot. There's a lot to be fearful of right now in Braves country, but I think that this team is a capable team that has the ability to go on a run and get itself into a much better position in terms of postseason seeding. For Atlanta, there's a lot to like about this team. They have a very dynamic lineup, and it's locked in for quite a long time. At some point in the near future, you're going to be getting Ozzie Albies, who's a dynamic talent for that lineup, back, and there's going to be an opportunity for this pitching staff to really get into a groove heading into the postseason. Obviously, getting to the Mets in the top of this division is likely going to be a much tougher task and something that is not going to be truly likely in my opinion. I think there's going to be an opportunity for the Braves to separate themselves as the top wild card spot and really get into a position of success. Now that third team heading up is chasing down those Braves, and it is the Philadelphia Phillies. Over the last 10 games, they are 8-2. And as I said, they are chasing down the Atlanta Braves in such a big way that Atlanta really has to be fearful for that top wildcard spot. I think that Philadelphia is now starting to click on all cylinders. And the opportunity and the ability for Bryce Harper to get back into this lineup will only make it that much more devastating. I think that the pitching staff for Philadelphia has really found its groove, and since bringing in David Robertson, releasing Juris Familia, I think that the bullpen is now shaping out to be a very good set for the Philadelphia Phillies. And going into the postseason, we know how important bullpens can be, and clutch, timely hitting late in games. Having a guy like Kyle Schwarber, who's having the season that he is, an MVP caliber type season, along with getting Bryce Harper back, who is a perennial MVP candidate, this is going to be a Philadelphia Phillies team that is very fun to watch going down the stretch. Now, as we look at the third down, it is that of the Minnesota Twins. Now, when you look at the Twins, they are 4-6 over their last 10 games, find themselves on a 3-game losing streak, but more importantly, they have lost the top spot in the American League Central Division. There's an opportunity for the Twins to get back and right the ship and get back to the top of that division, because in my opinion, that's going to be the only way they make it into the postseason. Without winning the division, there's no team in my mind that's going to come out of the Central for a wild card spot. That's how tough and strong the AL West at the top of it is, as well as the American League East. There's going to be a contender for the wild card spots in the Seattle Mariners, and 2 of the 3 teams will be coming out of the American League East. So for the Central and for the Minnesota Twins specifically, if they are not the top in that division, they're not going to make the playoffs. This is a team that has a lot of pieces to like in Carlos Correa, Byron Buxton, amongst others. I also think that there's an opportunity for Minnesota to kind of get themselves back into a position of success against their division rival Cleveland Guardians and get back to the top of this division. If they're unable to do so, they will not find themselves in the postseason. Now, as we look at the team to be on the lookout for, it is the aforementioned Cleveland Guardians. Over their last 10 games, they are 7-3 with a 5-game winning streak, and like I said, they have taken over the lead in the American League Central. For this team, there's going to be a lot of times for them to kind of play themselves into a position where they give themselves a bit more of a lead in that American League Central division. That's their only likelihood and their only hope to being able to make the postseason is as the division winner. I think that there is a lot of players to like on this team and this up-and-coming team, in my opinion. They're a sleeper candidate and an underdog, and those are the teams that are the most sneaky when it comes to postseason play. I think you have a perennial MVP candidate in Jose Ramirez, and when you look at what this team can be with the dynamic players that they have in that bullpen, there's always a chance for the Cleveland Guardians to go on a run and head towards the World Series. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on this down in the comment section below. Who are your teams, your 3 teams heading up, your 3 teams heading down, and your 1 team to be on the lookout for? Let me know that down in the comment section below, or find me over on Twitter at JLaracuente19 to keep the conversation rolling. As always, keep it locked into the entire JLMG family with Weesibs, the Granny Geek Show, and of course here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. For sticking around to this point, head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. Use the promo code BANTER to save 5% off your order. Keep it locked in all season long as we continue to look at the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.